You are not your mind, and that's why you're suffering. There is something living inside you. It has no body, no face, no heartbeat, but it speaks constantly. It is the voice that drags you out of sleep at 3 a.m. to replay a sentence you said 10 years ago. The voice that scans every room you enter, whispering that everyone is watching, judging, measuring your worth. It is the unseen engineer of your anxiety, your heaviness, your hesitation. And the most dangerous part is this. You believe that voice is you. You believe the endless stream of commentary, planning, worrying, replaying, judging is your personality. You believe your thoughts are reality. They are not. You are living inside a mental simulation, a private hallucination generated by a mind that has been left running without supervision. Your body is here, reading these words, breathing air, sitting in a real room. But your attention is not. Your attention is trapped somewhere else, in a future that has not arrived, rehearsing disasters that may never exist, or in a past that is already dead, performing autopsies on memories that cannot be changed. Because you are never fully here. You are never fully alive. You move through your own life like a ghost. And most people never escape this state. They live 70, 80 years inside the cramped prison of their own skull, tormented by a narrator they never chose. They assume this is normal. They call it being human. It isn't. It is a malfunction, a sickness of the modern soul. So ask yourself this. What would happen if the noise stopped? Not positive thinking. Not pretending everything is fine. Not numbing yourself with distractions, dopamine, or denial. What happens when the voice loses its authority? What happens when you cut the wire to the loudspeaker? What happens is one of the most dangerous psychological shifts a human being can experience. The death of the false self. When you stop living inside your head, you don't just feel calmer. Reality itself changes texture. Colors sharpen. Sounds deepen. Time stretches. Your presence gains weight. You stop reacting and start directing. People feel you before you speak. And those who are still asleep feel threatened by your stillness. But to reach that state, you have to look directly at the chaos you've been hiding behind your smile. You have to perform an autopsy on your own mind. And your mind will resist. It will tell you this is too long, too intense, too uncomfortable. It will urge you to scroll away, to click out, to postpone. That resistance is not you. It is the parasite protecting itself. Ignore it. Stay. The silence. You are searching for lives on the other side of this discomfort. Here is the brutal truth. Most of your suffering is not happening in the real world. It is happening in the theater of your mind. Ancient Stoics understood this. Buddhists built entire civilizations around it. Modern psychology is only now putting scientific language to it. There's a concept known as the second arrow. The first arrow is reality. You lose a job. Someone insults you. A relationship ends. You get sick. That arrow hurts. It is real. It lands once. The second arrow is the story. I lost my job, which means I'm a failure, which means I'll never recover, which means I'll be alone and broke forever. She didn't reply, which means I'm unwanted, which means I'm unlovable, which means I'll die alone. The first arrow wounds you once. The second arrow is the one you drive into yourself again and again, every morning, every night, for years. And without realizing it, you become addicted to it. Why? Because your brain was never designed to make you happy. It was designed to keep you alive. To a primitive nervous system, silence feels dangerous. In the wild, silence meant a predator nearby. So your mind fills the quiet with noise. It invents problems. It scans endlessly for threats. If there are no real dangers, it manufactures them. This is the great lie of anxiety. The belief that worrying gives you control. That if you think hard enough, long enough, you can prevent pain. But you are not solving anything. You are spinning, burning energy, wearing down the engine, going nowhere. Living inside your head warps reality. You stop seeing people as they are and start seeing projections. If you feel insecure, everyone looks arrogant. If you feel guilty, every comment feels like an accusation. If you fear abandonment, you cling, suffocate, and push people away, proving the very fear you were trying to escape. This is why relationships collapse. Not because others are cruel, but because you are not actually relating to them. You are interacting with a hologram of them inside your mind while the real person stands in front of you, unseen and confused. You are arguing with ghosts in a hall of mirrors. The cost of this is not abstract. It is your life. When you are lost in thought, you are absent. You don't taste your food. You don't hear the music. You don't feel the warmth of another human being's presence. You skim existence instead of inhabiting it. And there is another cost, power. A person trapped in their head is slow, hesitant, predictable. They overthink and underact. In any confrontation, the one rehearsing lines has already lost. The one who is present, empty of noise, full of awareness, is dangerous. Look at elite athletes, warriors, masters of any craft. At their peak, they are not thinking. The mind goes silent. Action and awareness merge. That is flow. That is power. Overthinking drains you because your brain consumes enormous energy. When you ruminate, you are running a marathon while sitting still. That is why you are exhausted even after rest. You have been fighting imaginary wars all night, and people sense it. Humans are wired to detect presence or its absence. You can feel when someone isn't really there. Their eyes wander. Their attention fractures. They listen only to respond. You don't trust them. You don't respect them. Now imagine the opposite. Someone utterly still, grounded, watching without hunger, without need, not trying to impress or extract anything. Just there. That presence is unsettling, magnetic, powerful. That is what you become when you leave your head. But to do that, you must face the most uncomfortable question of all. Who are you? Not your name. That's a sound. Not your job. That's a role. Not your body. That's changing constantly. Are you your thoughts? This is a trap. Try this. Ask yourself, what will my next thought be? Then wait. Notice the gap. That silent fraction of a second before thought appears. In that gap, you exist. The thought does not. If you can observe your thoughts, you cannot be them. The sky is not the clouds. The camera is not the movie. You are the awareness behind the noise. The voice in your head is a biological machine, a survival algorithm producing data. Useful sometimes, delusional often. The mistake is believing every output. When the voice says, I am worthless, you don't label it as a thought. You merge with it. You become it. Detachment, real detachment, is not coldness. It is clarity. It is the ability to observe the machine without being crushed by its gears. I notice anxiety is different from I am anxious. One gives space. The other drowns you. You do not need to stop thinking. You cannot. Trying to silence the mind only feeds it. You let it run. You let it scream, but you stop obeying it. Treat your mind like a deranged roommate. If someone followed you around all day yelling insults and predictions of doom, you wouldn't debate them. You wouldn't argue. You'd ignore them and continue with your task. Eventually, starved of attention, they quiet down. That is the practice. And it is hard because you are attached to your suffering. Your pain gives you identity. Without your story, who are you? Without your trauma, your excuses, your narrative of being wronged or misunderstood, what remains? Responsibility. The ego would rather be miserable and special than peaceful and ordinary. To leave your head, you must let the character you think you are die. This is ego death, psychological death, the shedding of a costume you've worn. So long you forgot it wasn't your skin. When you sit in silence, the mind panics. It throws images, fears, tasks, regrets at you. It is fighting for survival. Let it. Stand still. Do not move. This is not comfort work. This is warrior work. On the other side, something profound happens. Silence appears, but not emptiness. A living stillness. You stop waiting for life to begin and realize it has only ever been now. The past is memory. The future is imagination. Fear collapses because fear needs a future to exist. You act without friction. You see a task and do it. No internal committee meeting. No delay. Your relationships change. You stop using people to prop up your ego. You see them clearly. And because you see them, they feel safe. Truth flows toward you. You become difficult to manipulate. Advertising slides off you. Guilt hooks fail. Crowds don't sweep you away. You are anchored. You move through the world like someone who knows it's a game. And because you don't take it personally, you play it better than most. The voice won't vanish overnight. You trained it for years. But now you catch it. Again and again. Return to your breath, your hands, the room. Each return is a repetition, a strengthening of awareness. One day, you will notice the narrator is gone. And for the first time, you won't think about the sky. You will see it vast, silent, infinite, just like you.